try the, since we're doing a grandfather thing. This is a piece that Robert and I actually recorded 16 years ago.
I had black hair.
I had a black beard. And so it was an idea that I had. I've had a few interesting ones that involve Robert. And this was one I brought him and Stuart Frankie, who maybe you heard of, into the studio. They didn't really know each other, and I had them play what Robert's playing right now. And my idea was, and we created quite an interesting collage with it, which we're not going to be able to do with voices and stuff. But in recent years, or recent months, I should say, I've started to perform this in a different way again with the new Coyote Monk Poetry Band. So since I have Robert here, I'm going to
get them all in the car, couldn't you?
Good. Yeah, I didn't want to. Didn't want to drive up old US 23 with them. They can't get a passport to get out of Detroit anyway. So this is, the way this starts out, it's two poems, and the first poem is actually by Robert Frost. And the idea behind this piece was sort of a collage about the 60s. And as you may know, Robert Frost was the first poet to ever read at an inauguration. And he read at John F. Kennedy's inauguration. For those of you who are watching on the black and white TV then, he actually had written a poem that was called Upon the Inauguration of John F. Kennedy. But he was very old at that point, and that particular day it was very sunny and cold in D.C. as it could be on Inauguration Day. And he couldn't see the page. So he recited the only poem that he had, or one of the poems in his memory. So this became the poem that was read then, and I'm going to segue into a poem about my grandfather at those times as well. And it's pretty much a working class tribute. So this poem of his was called The Gift Outright. The land was ours before we were the land. She was our land more than 100 years before we were her people. She was ours in Massachusetts, in Virginia too, but we belong to England, still colonies possessing what we still were unpossessed by, possessed by what we now no more possess. Something we were withholding made us weak, until we found out that it was ourselves that we were withholding from the land of the living, and forthwith found salvation in surrender. So such as we were, we gave ourselves outright. The deed of the gift was many deeds of war. Gave ourselves outright to the land, vaguely realizing westward, unstoried, artless, unenhanced. So such as we were, such as we would become. So such as we were, such as we would become. My father worked hard all his life. He sat up late across the table from me and my mother, with his big calloused hands folded, bruised slash blue. I cried to my tappy. I cried to my tappy. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Where have you gone? And it's the gift outright. Yeah, the gift outright. Thank you. A little Robert Frost and a little phone call this afternoon.
You know, I ain't hanging around with too many poets before I met ML. But I would have loved to, I think, hung around Robert Frost for, you know. And, I mean,
For a minute is
for a minute at least, man. You know, it's like, cat writes a poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But I think I know enough of hate to know that for destruction, ice is also great. That would suffice. That's a bad one. Well,
and he was in residence in Ann Arbor for some may know.
Really?
At U of M, yeah.
Wow. I told one story about my family. It's my great-grandfather. The reason I know my great-grandfather is because of my grandmother, who used to tell me that story about Papa. And I wrote a song for my daughter, who is now 21 years old, to let her know a little bit about her name. Her name is Arnesia, and I call this song Arnesia's Song. And my daughter is 21, our daughter is 21, and she just got fired from Quicken Loans. She's happy about it.
Because she's 21.
She's 21. And she's like, you know, she got sick, she took 2 days off, and they said, well, sorry, we must terminate your contract. So it's cool. So she's off looking for a job so she can be fulfilled and creative, and that's okay with me. And she's you know, in school, been in school for a while, and at some point she's going to get a degree in something. Must be really tough, though, to be 21, to know everything, and to still need your mama and daddy's money.
Your daughter too, huh?
My daughter too. She handles it with grace. So when she was about 7 or 8, I wrote her this song so she'd know why her name is Arnesia. And the song starts in a little town called Evergreen, Alabama. And next to Evergreen, Hartland is a metropolis. Liebler. But they were really excited in Evergreen. They just, 2 years ago, they just got a new Walmart and a new John Travolta movie. Grease. A little behind in time. It's called Arnesia's Song. Incidentally, I've recorded this song probably a couple times, and one of the times that I did record it was on a project that ML and I and a late great musician friend of ours by the name of the one and the only
Farouk Z-Bey.
Farouk Z-Bey was on it, and he actually blew saxophone to this song, and I really treasure that moment. But anyway, this is a song called Arnesia's Song. In the year of 1916, the moneyed world had turned its hands to war. But deep within the state of Alabama, Arnesia of Evergreen was born. And there never was a movie done about her. No history book will ever hold her name. But I know her story like I know my own hand. And I will tell her story just the same. Within 28, when all the folks were laughing, talking about the money that they'd made, Arnisha picked the cotton while she played. And she helped her mother raise 2 orphan cousins, 'cause that's the way they did it in those days. Barely older than the children that she cared for. That's how Arnisha learned her mother's ways. And in 34, when all the folks were crying, talking about the money that they lost, Arnisha was all alone and trying to figure out what love too young would cost. She'd had 2 children formed out of wedlock, back when such children were a mark of shame. And though she never wore it in her own house, she raised her babies with their father's name. And no movies were ever done about her. No history book will ever hold her name. But I know her story like I know my own hand, and I will tell her story just the same. In 49, Arnisha left for Detroit to see the poor man's fabled promised land. She sold whiskey to the workers in the bottom, and she put her problems all in Jesus' hand. And Detroit, it wasn't like old Alabama. She had to learn to face the cold gray morn. That rags wrapped around her feet would keep her walking, and newsprint around her legs would keep her warm. And in 56, while civil rights was marching, you know her daughter had a baby of her own. She found out what Arnisha had long known, that it's hard to raise a baby on your own. But those women worked to raise that boy together, and they gave me all the best they had to give. When I think about the way those women raised me, I knew those women taught me how to live. And no movies were ever done about her. No history book will ever hold her name. But I knew her story like I know my own hand, and I will tell her story just the same. By the 60s, Arnisha's son got married. He found success in the mechanic's trade. His 8 children came and brought his mama pleasure, and around her feet all 9 grandchildren played. And we grew inside the joy that was around her. Somehow we all cut out our middle moms for a neighborhood of children called her mother, and she wiped away our tears on callous palms. But by the 80s, while the whole wide world was spinning, Arnisha did the best that she could do. Her only son was killed at 37. Her only daughter died at 52. And the twist of fate had taken all her children, and nearly all the joy that did remain. But in my son's eyes, she meant 4 generations, and she knew her life had not been lived in vain. And in 90, in the month that she was born in, Arnisha of Evergreen went home. And in 91, my wife came in and blessed me with another little Arnisha of my own. And sometime when I hear my niece laughing, I can hear my other niece in the sun. And it's then I bow my head and pray to heaven that Arnisha's life goes